simple information. There's a reason why we say we're doing a needs and wants analysis. Okay? So here's the situation I'm going to recommend to you, is that you must have what you call an educator. Okay, an educator, it's a life policy for your children, education. So what it means is that should you pass on or become permanently disabled or you become terminally ill, what we will do, or when I say what we will do, because I represent a lot of insurance guys, so what we will do is that we will pay your children's education until the age of 24. Okay? So, did you see what you did? You're investing 1,000 rands every month, but you currently have 6,000 rands. Should anything happen to you right now, the kids don't have education. They have what you call poverty situation. You understand what I'm saying? Okay. Eleanor, I'm just going to ask them simple questions. Should it happen that, I know that you have drivers within your industry, and then should they become partially disabled or permanently disabled? Well, you see then, you have a cover for you that will pay for your income. So, we teaching each other, right? So what happens is that if what you see that happen, it happens that you become partially disabled or permanently disabled or become terminally ill. Then the problem here is that she doesn't have an income until the age of 65 or until she passes on. So what we need to have is that we need to have what you call an income protection. Okay? An income protection will say, should you not be able to go to work for more than a month because you are partially disabled or permanently disabled. Please know that disability is not breaking your bone. We have a lot of mental issues right now. That's a disability, by the way. Okay, did you know that, guys? Okay, excellent. So if you're mentally not okay, not that you are fine, you're good. But you're good. Okay. But what we need to do now is that we need to pay for your income until you become well for the first 24 months. Okay? After 24 months, if it is declared that you are permanently disabled, unfortunately, you cannot work. But remember, you have Owami, non-dumiso, and your husband. Okay? And somebody takes care of your little ones. Okay? We'll go to that one. We'll go when we do budgeting. Okay? So we need to take care of them. So how are you going to take care of them if you don't have an income? Okay, you need to protect your income. Remember, guys, we're protecting what? Income, and we're already protecting what? Education. That's very, very, very important. I have a headmaster here in Middleburg. I'm not going to mention the school. He is mentally okay, but he is highly stressed. So I've been paying for his income since 2021. The school is that side, I believe. Near the grave, the small graves, that's it. So I'm not going to mention the name of the school. Okay, so we do that. Okay, do you understand, guys? When we say we're doing needs analysis, okay, I've just mentioned only two benefits. The reason why I mentioned those is because I asked a simple question: who she is? She's 34. She's got a hubby of 37. 2 kids. Now you know what you need to do. Okay? That's a need analysis. But we'll go to the other ones. Okay? I'm just mentioning the first two. The first one was educator and income protection. That thematic, the two, Tata, married, single, divorced, married. How many kids? 5 kids. First one, how old? 34. 24. Oh, 4.
24.
24. Second one? Needs analysis. We are analyzing that. Sorry? 17. Okay. The third one? How old? 16. 16. You literally following the multiply. You must produce and multiply. Number 4.
Let's say 11.
Let's say 11. Number 5.
With 5.
Number 5. What is your duty here at Everest? What do you do? Sales manager. Did you hear that? He's a sales manager. Smoker, non-smoker? Smoker. Okay. Your wife, how old is she? 21? Sorry, you said?
43.
And how old are you?
Mina?
Yes.
50.
50. There's a reason why I picked him. Okay? We're going to talk about that. 2 points. Okay? But before I do that, I need to analyze who are you? What do you do? What don't you do in life? Okay? So, he's left in 5 years to retire legally. Legally. Now, the question that I need to ask you, how's your finances? I don't mention it. Okay. Those are the questions that I'm going to ask you privately. I always ask my clients. I say, you are 50, she's 43. The little one is 5. Okay, I have a daughter who's 8 years. So meaning that we are literally there's 18 years for the little one to go to tertiary. Okay? So for them to go to tertiary, we need to do what we are talking about. We need to do what? Education plan and educate as well as an educated. Okay? You are a smoker, so you are a high risk. Like, do you smoke happy bubbly, or do you smoke a normal cigarette, or do you smoke marijuana? That's a valid question. Drugs, for example, don't answer those questions. Those the questions. There's a reason behind it. A happy bubbly person is very expensive when you do cars. Okay. Same as umama ufaka isnake because snake goes to the bloodstreams. Okay. Can you see what I'm doing here? I'm doing a needs analysis about who? About you. And I'm going to give you what? Recommendations. We are here to what? To teach each other about what? About financial planning. Okay. There are things that we need, there are things that we don't need. She thought she needed an education plan only. Guess what? She needs an educator now. Because things can happen. We see our generation is passing on very early these days. But there are other things that not all of us are passing on early, but the other ones will live until 90.
Sorry.
Okay. So that's a needs analysis. Okay. When we ask questions, we ask, what do you need? You tell us then what you want. You tell us, then based on that, we give you a recommendation. I already know what I can recommend the policy then, and I already know what I can recommend. I don't want you to disclose your retirement information. That's why I stopped. Okay, you are 50 now. Yeah, there's 3 ladies here that are looking at you like, how much does he have? Yeah, they cannot stay now. You have kids. Education plan, educating. That's very key. I need you to ask me a question, or anybody else, because we're engaging with one another. I'm here to teach you, I'm here to receive, and also give you information back. Ask me a question. Feel free. Yes, it's Zulu, that's Soto, that's Pegi, it's Changani, and then, yeah, I'll answer. Be engaging. You know when you're in school, in class, what's your question? I can see you, yeah, I can see you. You don't have a question. Say to the question.
What's the difference between the educator and the education plan? Because to me, it sounds like it's just terminology. I've never heard of an educator.
Did you hear that, guys? The question is, what is the difference between an education plan and an educator. An education plan is an investment. Okay? You are putting 1,000 rand every month with the hope that at the age of 18, your daughter or your son will have a specific lump sum that you can invest towards what? Their university or their tertiary. Okay? Do you want to take them to UCT? Do you want to take them to Harvard? That's based on what you say you want to do when you invest. That money will gain interest. That's an education plan. An educator, similar to a funeral cover, but an educator, it's a life policy that we put to cover your children's education or tuition fees. So what happens is that, what's your name, sir? Mapanga. Well, Mapanga, what happens is that if he becomes permanently disabled, or he becomes terminally ill, or he passes on, what will happen is that the insurance will start paying for the little one's education. Okay? Until the age of 24. The example that I made with only C was that, let's say she has already invested 6,000 rand. With who? With no, listen, no division. No division is left with 6 years. No? I mean, 8 years to go to tertiary. In it, for what? Yeah, maybe it's and then she passes on, or she becomes permanently disabled, and she already have what 10,000 in the account for what education plan. The question is, can uLetizana, uOwami, and non-Dumiso go to UCT? Let's be honest. No. So that's where the educator comes into effect. She passes on, that money will be given to Uno Dumiso as an investment or we will reinvest it for them. But an educator will pay for the little one's education, okay, from where they are right now. So not Dumiso's what grade right now? Grade 4. She's in, it's a she. She's in grade 4. So can you imagine? Frustrated, not having education. Relying on umalume, ugogo, that's very dangerous. Okay. So with an educator, what we say, we won't pay, we're not going to give anyone the money. We won't pay this education for your little one until they finish tertiary. And then they can look after themselves. That's the difference. Are we comfortable with that answer or we still keep on?
So the educator, since it's a policy, it's an insurance policy.
Yes.
It's got terms and conditions.
Yes.
Like there should be a waiting period before you can start claiming.
There's no waiting period.
So immediately I pay the first premium. If
Before you even pay the first premium, it can happen that you pass on, and then the insurance has already approved you. So because it has approved you, it's legally binding, and they need to pay for what they showed you for. Okay. So it's like a life cover and a funeral cover, totally different. Not totally, but they're different. There's a reason behind it. I always say with a funeral cover, it's fine. They don't want to take bloods to be tested. There's a reason why I asked, are you smoker, non-smoker? With the life cover, we check those things. I said to him, it's expensive. The reason why I say it's expensive is because when I say expensive, his premium will be a bit higher. Not expensive, it will be a bit higher because he's a high risk. He smokes inverted comma Habiba. Okay. So that's why. Yeah.
so if I decided that I've been approved already and I've got a lot of stress, then I decided to take shortcuts.
24 months waiting period when it comes to the what you call suicide. But we will pay the suicide. Okay. We're talking about what? Needs and wants. What does he need? He needs to protect his kids' education. But how is he going to protect it? He thought the only way to protect the kids' education is what? It's investment. It's not about investment alone. It's about what? Having an educator, which is a life policy. Guess what? Charges it costs between 85 rand and above. Don't worry, it's not expensive. Okay.
Is there a minimum age for, so if children is, for example, 18, can you still take out?
No, we can't take it. Sorry. Thank you for asking that question. So if the child is above 18, so already we are looking at, yeah, they need to go to tertiary, so they're not gonna take the child. Okay. So the beautiful thing about this is that you can take it for a child at any time. Now insurances that will insure you, and then should nothing happen to you, they'll refund you back all the premiums. Okay. There are certain insurers that do that. Okay, I'm not here to promote that. We're here to do what? Needs analysis. Okay. Yes, Mr. Good. I like the fact the hands are going up. So we were given 50 minutes for this, but I love this topic. So are you comfortable with Yes, Mr.
No,
Yes.
before I ask my question, I need to just follow up with what you said. What you said, the
Minimum age.
age.
Entry. So we can, as the child is born, we can have that. Okay, until the age of 17. But when they come to 18, child become 2000 is
All right, now to my question.
Yes.
This educator is attached to life.
Yes. It's attached to life, or you can attach it to an education plan. That's up to you. I'll explain to you how to put it. When you do a life cover or comprehensive life cover, you must always have what you call a non-accelerated benefit, not accelerated benefit. I'll explain that to you right now. Okay, and then we'll move to the others. Okay, so yes, ma'am. What's your name?
Also, may I ask, you said this educator, you don't offer it to anyone else, you give it to the child. Say now I'm pregnant and I want to start nursing, right? And then I give birth, say hypothetically speaking, God forbid, I pass on when my child is grade 9 and I've been invested already. And when my child gets to grade 12, she doesn't want to go to tertiary, or he doesn't want to go to tertiary, maybe joins the army or something, and then that happens.
So with an education plan, it's an investment. It's under your name. And the beneficiary is your child. So when they don't want to go to school, thank you. It's your money. It's what you account. Okay. So I just wanted to go back to the accelerated and non-accelerated. So this is how I explain it. Can we focus? Oh, excuse me. What's your name? Amanda, how are you? Okay, good. So remember, when she did an education plan, there's a beneficiary nomination. She nominated whoever she nominated. And then that money will go to the nominated beneficiary. Irrespective of whether the nominated beneficiary is the child that doesn't want to go to school anymore, the money will go to the child. But if she doesn't pass on and the child says, I don't want to go to school, I don't believe in education, the money goes back to her with an accumulated interest. Okay. Right? It does, depending on, when I say waiver premium, it does in terms of should it happen that you become permanently disabled, you need to pay, continue paying your premiums, okay? Or if you get retrenched, you need to continue paying for your premium, but with retrenchment for an allocated time. Okay. Yes, what's your name? Sorry, I didn't ask you what's your name. Not to. What's your name? Sandy, yes.
I just want to know if the child maybe when she's in grade 9 or 10 passed on, so what's going to happen to them?
With what? With
The investment.
it goes to you, the investor. Yes. Yes. Because there's nobody you were investing for, him or her, and then they pass on. Yeah. And then, for example, like I said, with an educator, the premiums are paid back by some insurances. If it happens that the child passes on, then it goes back to you. And we happy to report that.
I just wanted to check, you can't place someone else on that investment you put on.
No, no, you can. You can change the beneficiaries. And then you put the beneficiaries, boom, and then it continues.
The same benefits for the
Yeah, in the same way, you don't have to stop. Remember the child is.
Changing the child, changing the beneficiary.
Yeah.
no, I'm taking the child is deceased and we want to add, well, maybe we have another one.
Yeah, we add the one. Yeah, you just replace the beneficiary who's deceased, and then you put the one who's alive now. But the investment continues. It's just the beneficiary nomination. Are we happy? Are we comfortable? Are we learning something today, or are we happy about that? Okay. Just wanted to go to that day. I always want to say my children, so that's I say
Yeah.
okay. I said, who let this out? With a comprehensive life card, there's what you call an accelerated benefit and non-accelerated benefits. Okay, I want to explain to you so that I know a lot of you have benefit, we have life covers, but I want to explain it so that it makes sense to you what you have, and you need to go and check it to my police way. Is that okay? Okay. So with accelerated, like I said, there's accelerated benefit and non-accelerated benefit. Remember the word accelerate, non. Okay? Remember with the life cover, they'll say to you there's death, disability, dreaded, hanging. Remember that? And then they say we'll cover you for 26 how much? I mean, let's say 1 million.
Yeah,
1 million. I need you to focus or listen to this. So if it's an accelerated benefit, they literally say to you, if you become disabled, we will evaluate you and then pay you up to 1 million. Okay? Let's say you become permanently disabled, and I say, no, you deserve 500,000. Okay? And then they give you 500K. Guess what happens to this and this? It gets minus. It's 500,000 for life, 500,000 for dreaded. Are you listening? And then cancer hit you. And then they say, you can claim for 500,000. And then we pay 500,000. Remember, when you started, you said you have a death cover of what? 1 million. Guess what? You have nothing before you die. That's an accelerated benefit. So please check your policies. If you say you're covered for death cover, for disability, for dreaded disease, check if it's accelerated or non-accelerated. If it's accelerated, please note the following. Whatever happens, it affects the death cover. Okay? But with non-accelerated, if it happens that you become disabled, we pay you 1 million. If you become dreaded, if you have cancer, we pay 1 million. If you pass on, we pay 1 million. Okay? Are we happy? Are you comfortable? So we're doing the needs and the wants. Can I go for questions?
So initially, I thought accelerated meant that you, as your premium increases, the benefit increases. Is that not part of the language of your accelerated?
So this is how it works. When you open up a life cover, they say to you, we're gonna give you a 3.5% increase with the benefit as well as with the premium. Okay, so that's not accelerated benefit. So they increase it according to what? To the inflation rate or the nominated percentage. 3.5, 5%, 7%. Okay? Are we comfortable with that? Any questions? You can move to the second topic. Or do you want to have some drinks?
No.
You want to stretch? Okay. Should I go for the question? I'm just going to mention a few things and then it's going to carry on. Is that okay? So the definition of a budget is literally, are you doing it for public or are you doing it privately? That's a budget. As a financial advisor, that's how I do it. That's how I say it. Budget, you want public or private. You want to be seen, or you don't want to be seen. Okay? I did a budget analysis with a client, and she's paying for a car, monthly budget, monthly 25,000. Okay? She stays in an apartment of 1 million. Okay? And then she must pay insurance, which is on 2.7. With my work, I'm not allowed to disclose information with people. I'm just making examples so that you can understand. And every month, after the debits and everything, she's left with minus 8,000. When I say minus, she's using her credit card. And her credit card, remember, a credit card will charge you up to 21%. So what are you doing with this so-called your budget? Okay? Okay? So it's budgeting. So I want him to do it. I was going to do it. I was going to play along with you, but I want him, he's very eager to share with you guys. Okay? So you comfortable? And then I'll go to the teapot. Okay? Thank you so much.
Yeah, wasn't that informative? So I want to ask you a question. Who sees things differently now? From what has been told, what has been explained, are you seeing it differently, or have you seen it always like that? With a show of hands. Who sees things differently, needs and wants? They took an aspect whereby you analyze things personally. Do you see them different now? So I want us to understand something. That the moment you see your needs different, it means there's a level of personal search that you didn't go to. Remember, he mentioned about the kids, right? You have kids, just went on the top level, but he went through and through so that you get to see that once I'm not here, what will happen? Then that now speaks to you to say now, it means now I need to delve more into finding out how can I sort out my needs, my real needs, and my real wants. So in essence, you've seen that you can minus certain things from your budget. Are you seeing that? There's certain things already in your mind that are playing that, you know what, I need to cancel this, I need to cancel this, because of now you're thinking about the end goal. End goal. With a show of hands, who of you knows what is a goal? Just take a try. What is a goal? A goal. Just take a try.
Yeah, it's a plan that I have for myself for the future.
It's a plan you have for yourself for the future. Anyone else?
An aspiration.
An aspiration. It's something that you want. Can I leave this one up? It's something that you want, right? Okay. Can I get the last person? Let's hold it there. Let's hold it there, then I'll get another question. Medium, large, small.
Ah. Okay.
Which one? Which one?
It should be
Large. Medium, large, small. Small. Medium is fine. Thank you very much. So I think that lightens up the mood. So now, do we see how a budget will influence the decisions that we have influences our budgets? Are we seeing that? All right. So I want us to note something here. That now, your budget also will determine the decisions that you have. Meaning that you'd go for these policies if your budget also allows you to, right? So now, which means you need to have a goal. Can you repeat what you said? A goal? What did I do?
Plan that I have for myself for the future.
A plan you have for the future. You see that? So now, if you have a plan, it means now we have something what we call a smart plan. Let's note it down here. Smart. S-M-A-R-T. It's a smart plan. So this goes hand in hand with budgeting. It's also going to delve more into budgeting as well. So now, a smart plan means that your goal must be specific. Specific. Is there anyone who knows the smart plan, by the way?
Yes.
Oh, nice. So now, since I've mentioned the specific part, can someone else mention the M part?
Measurable.
Measurable. Why is it measurable?
So that you can have a starting point and an end point so that you measure it.
Thank you very much. And why should it be specific? So it means if now my goal is to reach where the camera is, it means I must start to move from here. I'm specific about that. So it means now I want to confess something else and do something else. Are you with me? So now, what's the H standing for? Now at times, achievable is. At times we plan or we budget, or actually we don't budget, but we want things that are way above our budget. Or we need them, we think we need them, until we do that analysis that can I achieve this with what I have now? With the type of budget that I live with, can I achieve the certain goal that I want? Do you see that? So now, what's the R standing for?
Realistic.
Realistic. So there's a guy, I did mention that I also do trading, right? So at times, you find guys who say that, you know what, I have a 500 account and I can turn it into $1 million. Okay? How many days? Months? Years? I know I can do it maybe in 2 days. What? So remember there's a saying that no matter what you are going through, the moment you have someone who says, I can take you 500, I can take you 5,000, run away. That's not possible. That's not achievable. You see that? Is that achievable? Is that realistic? It's not realistic, right? So now, tell me, what the T stands for? Can you say it again? Time. Is it timely, right? You can achieve it in that specific time that you've planned out to achieve. I'm just going to make an analogy of what I do, right? Now in trading, it's also going for budgeting, right? So you find that I have 1,000 rands account, right? In 1,000 rands account, I want to achieve at least 200 a day. Is that achievable? Just randomly thinking, is that achievable? Can I make a transaction that will make me achieve this? It's achievable, right? Because it's a small amount, right? So now, oftentimes I found people saying that, you know what? This is a budget. This $1,000 is a budget. That's his budget, is in his account. So now, he wants to achieve this. This is a goal, right? So now, in achieving this, it means that this guy must now have in place what we call a risk management system. Now it's speaking to this achievable part. If you don't manage your budget correctly, it means you won't achieve it because of you failed to plan. So this is part of you planning. Is it achievable or non-achievable? So now it speaks to what your risk management level or system that you use, right? So now in achieving this, you must also determine that I have $1,000. How much am I willing to lose? Then it says, to get to 200, I'm willing to lose $100. Now, speaking to needs and wants, right? Listen very carefully. Speaking to needs and wants. If he loses this from his budget, will he be able to live?
Yes.
Of course. It's a small amount. He can survive without that $100. And why does he survive again? It's because of it's a set goal that I don't mind losing this much. Are you with me? So now, once he achieves this part, meaning his target is reached, and in a specific time, he said, in a day I can do this, then the timely part is ticked off. But now, if he doesn't achieve this, now I want us to understand something. When making decisions on taking policies and insurances, we also have this mind that says, what if it won't work? What if, the doubt is there? But in order to deal with doubt, you go extensively into understanding that what is it that you're putting yourself into. Now, that understanding speaks to what? It speaks also to your budget. So your budget, if you can afford something, Mama, it means that you are free of it, right? If you can afford it, why not buy it? We have that, not in a sense of wants, in a sense of a need. If you can afford that educator, right? If you can afford an educator and you see that you really need an educator, why would you not take it? So now, it goes to a level of you speaking to yourself with the goals that you set for yourself. You're going to take something because of you thought you needed, you thought that you wanted. And based on that, you put down a budget for that. And after putting down a budget, you analyze that, am I needing this? Am I able to afford this? Does it make sense?
Yeah.
So now, in concluding this part, we have what we call, once you're in the trading part. Once you're in, you're in. So there's two outcomes that you should expect. Once you've taken a policy, once you've taken the risk, once you've set a goal, make sure to complete it. That's what we said, right? I believe we saw this. Did you all see this?
Yeah.
Did you all see this? So do you think that we could have seen this if he did not complete the race or any of the races that he went to? So all of this is a result of him not quitting, right? It's a result of him being consistent. So consistency is also key in keeping your budget, because there are things that today you feel like, I just want to buy this. Takes you out of budget. You see that? So now we have behaviors that we need to control when we're looking into budgeting. There's things that we need to look at and think that, do I really need this? It's part of your needs and wants analysis. So needs and wants analysis go hand in hand with budgeting. So if your budgeting is not in place, it means that you're going to miss on what you need and what you want. Are you still with me? So now, the smart planning, I love that you all know it. There's something that you also do in your practice, different practices. So once it's in place, does it set you off to say, I can do the next task very easy? Or do you struggle to do the next task? It becomes very easy. You see that? Because now it has set you on a pace that whatever that you need to do now, you know the A, B, and C's. So it means that now your budgeting is now in place and you can teach it to the next person, right? So now, from that, I want us to find something again that the great Benjamin Franklin said, if you fail to plan, you plan to fail. So if you don't have a goal in whatever thing that you undertake, whatever you want to do for your future, if you don't have a goal for that, it means that you've already failed already. Are you with me? Are you with me? That it is, please come through and also make a deep analysis on the budget. Did it make sense to you guys? I know I took it off board of trading and all that. But I believe that it's here to come and bring it back.
So, thank you so much. Helena, how much time do we have?
Usually 1 o'clock, and then 1:15 for the latest.
Quarter past one is the
Because
latest.
we still have people traveling back to their
Okay, I respect that.
destination.
I respect that.
Destinations.
Okay, perfect. Are you comfortable budgeting, or should we move to two-port system? Little bit of budget. So, like, I always engage with you guys. I don't like talking. I already spoke to police not to is. Who's willing to volunteer? Only for 5, 10 minutes, and then we're done, and then we jump to the tube.
Volunteer what?
Just like you did when I was asking questions and anything has to do with money was the material. Typical salesman. Can I select one lady this side? Are you comfortable? The other one, let us look at the other way. How are you, man? How are you? How are you? Are you good? Okay, my name is T. What's your name? TBC. Do you mind if I select you? Okay. Please come and sit here, if you don't mind. Just for 1 second. 1 second. So you will just tell me, see TBC. So we're going to do the real budgeting. Okay? So I need you not to give me your real information. I need you to play along. So you are, what do you want to be? Director, accountant? What's your position at work? Sorry. Receptionist. So you're the director of Everest. Okay? Okay. So you are any. Ne? You are any. $200,000 a month. Okay? Then we're going to tax you. Okay? And when they tax you, okay? And then your net. This is what you're going to get. Okay? So let's play along. Director tips. Right? Okay. The house that you have, how much are you paying for your bond? TBC director, how much are you paying for your bond? This is what you have. Every month.
Okay.
Such a rich lady. Talk to me. So you stay in Ararat, and then in Ararat, how much you? Don't worry, we had a property in Ararat, so I know about Ararat. Huh? So the property is 1 million. Okay, did you hear that, guys? So she has a property in Ararat, which is 1 million. So in 1 million, I'm gonna help you with everything, okay? So with 1 million right now, the bond she's paying about 12.5. Okay, are we happy? She's driving a beautiful car, a Jeep. Oh, she's at that end. And she's paying 25,300. Jeep Sport. Okay? Okay. Insurance. I'm talking about car insurance. Yeah? You pay about, how old are you, sorry? How old are you? 40. She's very young, guys. 14. And then she's paying about 2.7. Okay? And she travels a lot. Okay? She spends about 7,000 rand of petrol. Okay? Because she needs to engage with different branches. Okay? Okay. Okay. You have how many kids? 3. they all under 18?
No, 17, 10, 15.
10. Perfect. So all the kids are under 18. So they're in private school. What she said? Director. She cannot afford to take them to where? To the school. Next door. So it's Curo, ne? So if it's Curo, you're paying 7,000 per child. Times 3, that's 21,000. Transport. You have your driver, ne, that you pay every month. Okay? So this driver, you paying him 5,000, okay, 7,000. Ne? And then you spend petrol on top of that. Okay? Petrol worth about, because they're kids, they're just around the corner. So you spend about 3,000. Ne? Okay. We haven't mentioned food. Ne? There's 5 of you guys. It's you, your husband, and your 3 kids. Okay. Grocery. Eleanor, help them. How much is a grocery? Expensive. How much? 15,000. Guess what? We haven't done electricity. And medical aid. And normal life insurance. Guys, let's not forget the funeral cover. Okay, let's go to the numbers. Electricity, you're staying your rent, you're not spending less than 1,000. Spending how much to this? About 5,000. Because you guys cannot afford not to have lights, not to have hot water. The gardener must cut your grass. You must always have the lights everywhere. So it's 5,000. I'm comfortable with it. So I'm going somewhere with this.
She's
Okay?
comfortable.
We're dealing with
She's comfortable with that.
of a director. I just said, oh, you must give him warning. Medical aid. You are with Best Med, Discovery. Then you pay 12.5 for all of the tests.
You forgot the house manager.
Ooh.
Yeah.
And then we said a normal life cover. The normal life cover with everything, you're paying about 3.5, okay? And then funeral cover, you want the best funeral for each. So each must cover up must be covered for 100,000, 150,000. So 150,000, how much is the premium? One person, how much? 500. So if the whole family, how much are you guys paying at Everest? 700. Okay. Who's got a calculator here? On your phone. Jabu.
Abamfaka. Abayifaka i-house manager.
Jabu, please, let's
Yeah,
calculate.
house manager.
Let's calculate this money. It's 12.5.
Yes, house manager.
Auntie.
How? The house manager.
Auntie, how much you pay a month? Don't say 500. 5,000.
Yeah.
Please, Jabu, calculate. Entertainment, thank you. McDonald's and all this stuff.
DSTV, Netflix,
Did you hear that?
Wi-Fi,
Entertainment.
TV.
Netflix.
So let's calculate all of them. Entertainment, we're going to include Netflix, DSTV, Showmax.
Bodlela.
How much? 6,000. Already sweating because of your budget. Jabu, please calculate. You're the accountant. Please calculate.
Zikhona iintokfela za-40,000. Uthini wena? Sikhona. Kunama-level weitokfela. Kunafundela sama-40,000. Una de estas de la semana.
Jabu was the company. How much? Did you see that? Guys, let's focus. So she earns 200,000. Net income is 125. She spends 122,700. Can you please say 125 minus 122,700? What that amount? So that's what we call a disposable income. Ladies and gentlemen, look at this director. I'm saying that with an attitude now, because I've seen her budget. Very, very bad. I'll tell you one thing, it's very, very bad, or not very bad, but priorities. Remember the needs and wants. This director needs a house. Okay? I'm happy with I'm happy with this. It's a need. Okay? Jeep. It's a want. I it must be bad. Then, the car insurance of this Jeep is 2.7. It's a want. Petrol. It goes back to the want. Jabu, please add for me. 25, 2.7, I want something, I want I'll pay you for this one. Promise. See, my PA is here. She's writing every note. Please give it to me.
25,300 to 27,000.
Okay, 25,300 plus 2,700 plus 7,000.
35.
Direct. Do you really need a driver?
No. That's 10,000.
Yeah. With the petrol. Okay. Grocery, we need food. We have that. Electricity, we need electricity.
Yes.
Medical aids, we need. Normal life insurance, we need. Funeral cover, we need. Do we need auntie?
Yes. 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 Yes.
I'll direct you, get clean. Okay, let's go to entertainment, guys.
We need it.
Do you really need to spend 6,000 on entertainment?
Yes. 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 6,000 in nine. Bantu ba spend more. 6 is
It's a
yes.
vacation.
Oh, you are.
Direct.
I'm very
You are wasting
You know
45,000.
Hey.
You You are wasting 45,000. Okay. Here's the issue here. Did you see I was writing small things here? Okay. Let's focus. Let's focus. So the director is wasting 45,000 per month. So meaning that if you multiply that 45,000 with 10 months, it's 450,000. So the reason why I said let's do budgeting and then let's do needs analysis so that we can jump that side. When I say jump that side, the two-pot system. Okay? Look at this. Bond is a need. Direct, you afford. You're going to be left with how many years now? 15 years to retire. It's amazing that you don't invest towards your retirement. It's a need. Because when she is old, she doesn't want these three kids to say, you must look after yourself. Okay? She must look after herself. I'll go to it. There's no emergency fund. Should things happen, we don't have money. Okay? Did you see that? There's no other investment towards who? The kids and for herself. Out there. So let's go back to this, and then so that I can mention, so that I can give you information about the two-pot system. But I want us to focus on one simple thing. Director, you are required. Now that's for everyone. You are required for your gross salary. You need to invest 27.5% of your current salary towards retirement. Jabu, my calculator, 27.5% of 200,000, how much is it? Did you hear that, guys? Elena's complaining as well. She's like, no. How much is that? We had to engage with one another to empower each other, isn't it? 200,000, sorry, 200,000. Can I fold this? So literally we are moving to the two-pot system.
54,000.
54? 54,000. How much is director wasting?
40,000.
Okay, perfect. So when you go for retirement, you must invest. Yes, minimum, but the maximum is 27.5% of your gross salary. Okay? So that you can what? Can retire comfortably and become that 6% that can retire comfortably. Okay? I'm just here to give information. Okay? So here's the situation. Now we're moving to the two-pot. There's a reason why I want to link these three. We're linking the needs, budgeting, then now we're going to the two-pot. Remember, we identified the needs of director now. She doesn't have retirement. She doesn't have an investment for the children. She doesn't have an emergency fund. Should anything happen, she's in trouble. Do we agree? Do we agree? People are tired. Do we agree? Yes. Perfect. Okay. So the goal is to what? We want to invest. Director, now you are rehabilitated. And you invest in this 54,000 every month. Okay? Jabu, please multiply 54,000 times 12. Times 15. Remember, she's
9,720,000.
how much?
9,720,000.
9 million?
720,000.
I'm Zuma now.
Double zero. That's right, with triple zero is a day.
So correct. Guess what? We want you, when you retire, to have what? 9.7 million. Based on what? Based on the needs analysis that we did. 15 years, a month ago, you're left with 15 years. Now you're a director. Now we say, invest this so that you can retire comfortably. Please note that this amount doesn't have an interest on it. If you put an interest, you're looking at around 15 million. Okay? Estimate. So you'll have 15 million. But here's the situation with the two-pot system. The two-pot system says, if you need this money urgently or for an emergency, that's what it says. Then what will happen? It says you can tap into your retirement investment direct. It says you can take between 2,000 to 30,000. Okay? But don't forget, when we are taxing you at 45%. So when you require this amount, you're going to tax this amount at 45%. So meaning that you're going to get, did you see that look of the director? Did you see? I like that look because it helps a lot when I say that. So they're going to tax you 45%. Okay? And when they tax you at 45%, because you are a high income earner. So meaning, 45% of 30,000. How much?
17.
So she's requested 30,000. Remember, she has requested 30,000. 16.5. Is this what's going to be left with? Is this getting taxed or this is getting? So I don't. Did you hear that? With the two-pot system, it says the director. She has promised that she's going to have a speed drive in December because of what? Of two-pot. And she's going to withdraw it. And she's invited 10 guys. When I say 10 guys, I'm talking about your friends. Yeah? And you're expecting to have a good time. It's not for an emergency. You're just doing it for what? For a speed drive of December time. This is what you're going to get under your two-pot system. Okay. But there's a problem. As you keep withdrawing, and they say you can have this money, you can withdraw this money every year from 1st of March to 28th of February. Okay? So you can only withdraw it once a season. So she takes the 30,000. I'll read you an example of a simple client. And then she withdraws this 30,000. She gets 16.5. Yahamba, 15 million, the target, by the way. You're no longer going to you're not going to get 15 million anymore. The money will keep on depreciating. So you can imagine, Elena, multiply 30,000 times 15 years. By 15 years.
Times 15.
15.
450,000.
Please multiply 16,500 by 15.
247,500.
2,474.
247,500.
Okay. Just for pleasure, every season you decide to take 30,000. You remove 450,000 from the initial amount that we say you're going to get, which is 50 million. Please note that this is excluding interest as well. Okay? Please note that because of pleasure, you withdrew for the 15 years 247,500 from your two-pot system. Does it make sense, ladies and gentlemen? I need somebody who can say, yes, it makes sense. Does it make any sense? It makes sense to withdraw every year. That was the question. No. Oh, you said it makes sense what I was explaining. So, here's an analogy. Who's a farmer here? Or who knows a farmer? I'm from Limpopo, Mpumalanga, so it depends where. Tabora or Bushbuckridge, so you can decide where I come from. So that's why I mentioned 3 settings. So you have a mango tree, and in December, director of mangoes. So she's got a farm of mango trees, and every year or every season between November, December, January, you sell a lot of mangoes. You make what? Profit. The government says to you, every season in December, you're allowed to uproot. When I say uproot, means you remove the tree that has mangoes. You can take between 2 to 30 trees. Please, does that make sense to you that in the coming 15 years, do you think you'll have those 200 trees that you used to have? So that's a simple analogy that I always give people. You uproot that mango tree, and that mango tree was giving you what? Mangoes. To do what? To sell. To have fruit salad or to have achar. Now you don't have that tree. Okay. So what happens to you? You become broke. There's an arable land, a land that doesn't have mango. Ladies and gentlemen, that's a two-pot system. I can try to be very technical, but I always explain it this way to people. So when you need money through your two-pot, let it be an emergency. Let's say, for example, they want to take your house and they need 16.5. Remember, your house is an asset. You're allowed, but not for Christmas. Do you understand what I mean? Questions, please? We're left with 12 minutes. Questions? Please, feel free. There's no dumb question. Yeah, what's your question? Huh? You're shaking. Why? Because you are hungry or because this information? Because of what? Because of this information. So let's recap. Let's recap. So let's recap, ladies and gentlemen. Let's recap, ladies and gentlemen. Please, when you go back home, analyze, figure out what are your needs. Okay? What do you really need? And what do you really want? And identify the want. For example, if you want to go to the two-pot, it's going to mess up your retirement. Okay? But if you need to invest towards your retirement, it's going to increase your retirement amount. Okay? Please also look into your budget. Am I doing this budget, or is my budget for public reason, so that everybody can see which area do you come from? Second, you want the Sasol guys to see when you drive that Chiro. Then, which is very dangerous. Your budget is already on a dangerous level. Or do you want your budget so that you can take it from home to work? You can have a bicycle, by the way. Just making a simple example. Secunda and maybe officers, maybe, you know. You can, and then what it would do, if it's a bicycle, yes, it's practical. You can ride it, become fitter, become healthier, live longer. It's a need. Okay? Let's look into this one. And then the other part is the two part. Be careful, guys, ladies and gentlemen. Sorry for calling you guys. Ladies and gentlemen, we do not tap into this if it's not an emergency. If it's an emergency, please tap into it. Does that make sense? Do not take it because, hey, me and the girls, we have a trip to Cape Town. They're guilty. Did you see that? They're very guilty, those two ladies. Because we have a trip to Cape Town, so I'm going to show them how I'm going to wear my Adidas from head to toe. Okay? This one.
Can I just ask you something? I don't know whether it's relevant to whatever I'm going to ask, but then I just need to know the retirement fund that I'm like now I'm having. If it comes to a point where I move to another company, am I going to move with it or should I claim it or what should I do?
Okay. Did you hear that, guys? She decides to go and open up another Everest, but she wants her money, her retirement. So this is what's going to happen. You got various options. First one is to preserve. When you preserve your retirement, yeah, I'm about it. So preservation, what it means is that we're moving it from the Everest pension fund, net, and then we're preserving it to wherever that we select. But please note that with preservation, your money will still grow. But with preservation, you're not contributing every month. That's the first option. Preservation, put it in a basket, let it grow, but there's no contribution. Okay? Or you can say, because I'm moving to my new Everest, when I go, this money must go with me. So they'll do what you call a Section 14. A Section 14 means that they transfer it from Everest A to Everest B. And then you're still contributing to Everest B. And your money is still growing. With preservation, you're only allowed to withdraw that money once before you retire, up to 90%. If it's a provident fund. Remember, some of you guys have been contributing towards the provident and then the pension fund. The provident says you can have access to 100% of it. But in the, I'll go back. Did you see that face? But at the 1st of March 2021, all that was changed to Pension Fund Act, meaning that from the beginning of March of 2021, when you contribute, 1/3 you can withdraw when you retire, and then 2/3 you must have what you call an annuity. Do you want me to explain what is an annuity? So an annuity, it says director, you retire. As director retires, she must have what? She has 50 million, remember? And then she can take 1/3 of that 50 million. Okay? Please note that she's gonna, the 550,000 rand is not gonna be taxed. Okay? And then the rest will be taxed from the 1/3. Okay? And then the 2/3, from the 2/3, which is 10 million, then she must have an annuity. An annuity comes in two forms. There's a living and there's a life annuity. A living annuity, we say, we're gonna withdraw. So we're gonna withdraw 2 to 17.5% of the amount. Helena, I need your help. Okay. So from that 50 million, she's receiving 10 million. And then from that 10 million, let's say she wants to take 5% every month.
From the 10 million.
From the 10 million. So just say 5% times 10 million.
That's 500,000.
Divided by 12.
That's 41,666 rand.
So that's what she's going to earn. Okay? But please note, as we take in that money, the 5% which is 41,000 odd, the other amount we invest in it so that it grows. Okay? But there's a time frame for it. It can take between 15 to 25 years. Okay, for that money to last. That's a living annuity. But a life annuity says, I want to earn until I die. So what's going to happen? We take the whole 10 million and then we calculate it, make it maybe 50,000. Let's say it's 50,000 every month, so you're going to earn 50,000 for the rest of your life. But here's the pros and cons about the living as well as the life annuity. With the living annuity, we have beneficiaries that are selected. Okay? So what happens is that if you pass on and then let's say she took 2 million out of the 10 million, 8 million is left, what happens? Goes to the beneficiaries. Okay. But with the life annuity, there's two options. You can have a life annuity with a life cover or without. If it doesn't have a life cover, meaning that, let's say you take that 10 million, that 10 million she must cover for 10 million, okay? She must have a life cover with 10 million, meaning that we'll pay 50,000 every month. And then let's say after 6 months she passes on. What will happen is that we'll have to give the beneficiaries the 10 million if we include the life cover. But if we don't include the life cover, if she passes on within 3 months, the whole amount goes to the insurance. That's a life annuity. Okay? So we're ending with the segment. Any questions? We're left with 3 minutes.
Let's go back to the education.
Educating.
So with the educator, that money only gets does that money get paid up? So my son finishes high school. He's in matric, he's decided to go to university. Does that money pay out for his university fees, or does it only pay out in case of my death
Or disability. Yes.
So I'm not disabled, I'm not dead. So that money stays there until I die. And now he's reached 24, he's out of university, and whatever, what happens to that policy?
So they're going to pay you back all the premiums for that
Only all
educator.
my premiums that I paid for that
For the educator.
For the educator. Okay. At 24, when you
At 18.
at 18. Okay. So that premium that I paid can you pay for the university fees.
Correct.
If you decide to do it. Yes. I just want to do that.
Does that make sense? Guys, don't be afraid to ask questions. We are left with 1 minute and a half.
Please,
Yes.
you can repeat what she was asking. She was saying if ever you got an educator and the child died before 18.
No.
Okay, what was she asking?
So, please help me.
So I was saying, I've got the educator. My son has reached 18. I'm not disabled. I didn't die. What happens to the benefits after that? Because remember, if the benefits would be paid out if I die or become disabled. So the gentleman said that if the child turns 18, I only receive my premiums back at his age of 18.
So you didn't lose it.
So I don't get, so if I had to cover, let's say for 2 million of that, and my premiums I only paid was 900,000, I only get 900,000 back. I would not get the benefit of 2 million.
Together. So there's no losing here. Based on the what? On the needs. Remember? Okay. Are we happy with everything, or do you have questions? I'm happy to answer. Some of them are going back to Hong Kong. In 30, 35 minutes, 45 minutes. You can ask me anything. Yeah. Ask. They're still giving you water, so you can ask questions. Yeah. Still giving you water. Can I also please have water? you hear that, guys? If you need to come privately, you come. Yes, ma'am. What's your name? Prudence.
Just following what she was asking. So let's say I'm putting 200 rand to me in 2024, and my child is May 18 in 2024. So the premiums that I'm going to be looking at, is it the same money I was paying in 2014 or the current rates of the new high?
So the question is,
I think
are you
that
referring to indicator?
is to indicate.
So your money will be based on what you call inflation rate. So it will increase based on inflation rate, and then there's what you call a present value and the future value. The 200 right now cannot be 200 in the coming 5 years. Totally different. So it must be present value to the future value. Present value is 200, the future value will be about 275 in 5 years, maybe. I'm just estimating. Does it make sense? Yes, ma'am. Any questions? Are we happy? Thank you so much for listening to me and listening to Joseph and asking questions. You've been a great audience. May God multiply in your whatever avenue that you're into. And thank you so much for giving us the opportunity to preach the word of God, if I may say that way.
Amen.
Hallelujah. Lord. Thank you so much.
Thank you so much to Manike. Let's give him a hand. Thank you so much. So, ladies and gentlemen, you got a form to complete. Please complete the form, hand it over to Joseph or the lady there when you're back. There's lunch is being served at the back there for everybody. So please go and help yourself to some lunch. And then, guys, we go back to the office. Those that are in Johannesburg, those that are in Middelburg, we go back to the office. And those that are traveling, safe traveling mercies back to the office. Thank you again for everybody for being here. To the Manike guys, safe travels back to Johannesburg. I know we discussed. Also, ladies and gentlemen who hasn't signed the register, please do sign the register. Thank you so much. Please go help yourselves there. There's some lunch there. To the Manike people, please do go and also help yourself to some lunch. Let's enjoy lunch and then we go back to the office. Thank you guys. Bye-bye.
I don't know something